What is it like to be an extreme minimalist? To not own much, if anything? Well, that's me. I don't own a house. I don't rent an apartment. I don't have a storage unit. I just have a car and a bag of stuff and some sheets in the back. And so, living this extreme minimalistic life out of my car with one duffel bag and no storage unit, it's extremely freeing. That being said, there also requires a level of extreme discipline to keep yourself grounded and on a structured routine and keep you going forward. But it does feel free. It does feel like less stress. There are also times, though, that there is a need for a level of stability. And I often talk about that with regards to having a home base. And I think a home base, somewhere to go back to, whether it's a small apartment or a small place, has value, especially if you're older, especially if you're very low income, because if an emergency happens, those are the most vulnerable people in society and they don't have the resources to adapt. But to each their own, this video is not really centered around having a home base. This video, I more wanted to express the feelings of extreme minimalism. Because remember, to be an extreme minimalist, you don't have to live out of your car. You can live in a very small, quaint house. You can rent a very small place. You can have only one car, very basic car. You can have a closet with very few clothes. You can be very efficient in living a life that is even a standard life, meaning that you own a very small house. You have a closet. You don't have to have nothing. But it's not easy, okay, to be a minimalist in most modern countries. But I'd rather live in a modern country. I'd rather live in a modern country than a third world country where everyone is a minimalist by default because there's not enough abundance in the land. There's not enough opportunity. Never forget that. So, because a lot of times people bash, modern world, everyone is, there's so much waste. Hey, look, you rather have that than a country that is a dictatorship or only a few people in the family have the resources and they control the entire country and the rest of the people live in poverty and they have maybe religion, they have maybe tribes, but they don't have opportunities. Remember, developed countries for the win, no doubt. So, in a land where you have the choice, the freedom to decide how you want to live. Yeah, I like that. You get to decide, do you want to have a walk-in closet? You get to decide, do you want to do another renovation? You get to decide, do you want a $50,000 pickup truck or do you want a Kia Soul? You get to decide a lot, okay? You go, I want to decide if I get a vaccine, if I do it. Take it easy, okay? This is about basic choices. You get to decide if you want a storage unit. Most people with a storage unit, I empathize, but they have an emotional or mental problem. There's an attachment to stuff. An extreme minimalist is extremely aware of human nature. Oh, that's key. And it does feel good to not get entrenched in the seduction of stuff. We have all been at a point in life, most of us, including me, where you work to acquire things. And some people don't want to work, and they use that as an excuse of minimalism. Not to me. Look, I would love to retire early, but I'm not. There's a whole nother mindset out there that gets confused with minimalism. It's called lazy ass motherfuckers. Okay? I'm a minimalist, motherfucker, you ain't doing shit, right? I don't want to hear that, dude. So, what are we talking about? Minimalism. It's my belief that 90% of society in a first world country has the stuff that they own, 90% of what they own, they don't use on a regular basis. So, an extreme minimalist probably uses 90% of what they own. I probably use 90% of what I own. I use definitely 90% of my car. I live in it, I sleep in it, I travel in it. I got over 200,000 miles on a 5-year-old car. I've made money with it. So, my car, checked it off. My duffel bag with one bag of clothes, basically Walmart cutoffs and hoodies. I use 90% of all my clothes. I use 90% of my sheets. I don't have an extra pair of sheets on an extra bed. I am very efficient, and I use 90% of everything I own. Whereas the standard person probably has 90% of stuff they don't use. Spare rooms, spare furniture, spare clothes, storage units, etc. So that's the difference. The difference is when you use what you have, you feel good, free, and efficient. When you don't use what you have, you feel like shit. You feel like you just ate 5 tacos. And it was very, I don't know, man. It's just, you don't feel good when you don't use what you have. There's something psychologically and practically that when you deploy your resources and you don't use what you acquire with your resources, you feel like stupid, or you feel like bad about it, guilty, etc. So what I like about extreme minimalism, that I feel very efficient. I feel like I'm getting the most out of everything. I'm squeezing all the toothpaste out of my life and my resources. I'm getting full value out of life. And I think most people, and I've been there to a certain extent, you got 2 cars, you got 2 bedrooms in your apartment or house, you only need 1. You got maybe 2 storage units, you don't even need 1. A storage unit is a graveyard for stuff that you pay other people to hold your stuff. And you say, well, I sell stuff. Well, I would like to see your tax returns, because if you ain't making money, you're just making more headaches. But if that's what inspires you in life, don't listen to me. Do what you want. I'm just sharing my thoughts. So, the best way that I could describe extreme minimalism is this extreme excitement about getting the most out of everything you have. Because the things you have, they serve purpose in your life. And the best way to describe the standard person is 90% of what they own is waste. There's extreme waste. Shopping at Costco or Sam's Club or these other wholesale markets, you buy stuff in bulk, you waste a lot of stuff, you overeat, you throw out meat, you got 5 freezers, and it's a disaster. It's my opinion. You know, maybe if you got 5 kids, it's worth it. I don't know. 5 kids, let's stay positive. So, you're either using 90% of what you own, or you're wasting 90% of what you own. That's most people. Is there a balance? There's always a balance in the middle. As I look to maybe get a home base, because I think that's the most important next step for me. I don't want stuff, and I only want a home base for a safe, legal place to go in an area that I like to be overall, and it provides some stability. But when I buy a home base, that's why I always look at an RV lot or a small little mobile home, because I don't want a 1,000 square foot house, and that's considered small for most people. I really don't even want a 500 square foot house. I would like it to be under 500 square feet. And I can find that little shack in a little mobile home or RV lot in Florida, which that's what I like. So I think, like, even if I had a 300-400 square foot RV or mobile home, I'd probably only use 100 square feet. So even then I'd have like 50% of what I own I don't use. You know, like I looked at an RV lot with a 5th wheel on it, I probably only use 50% of that. You know, sure, if my mom ever came, that's the other 50%, so that makes sense. So, you know, but I think if you can get 50% use of what you own, that's better than most. I think most people, 80 to 90% of what they have, they don't use. And an extreme minimalist uses just about everything. 9 out of 10 items they own, they use almost every day. And that's the best way to describe the structured topic. Extreme minimalism and how it applies in a modern era, in a modern country. And it's a blessing to live in a modern country where you get to decide. Never forget it. So, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, click the thumbs up. If you want to support the channel, click that blue join button. Share the video, leave a comment. Algorithm of success. Check out my playlist. Thousands of free videos you can watch. Let it play. Let the ads run. Click, 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 click. Okay. And that's what we do. God bless.